Stefon Diggs may have left the Super Bowl without a ring and without a girlfriend. Stefon and Cardi B sparked breakup rumors after the New England Patriots lost the Super Bowl. In the hours after the game, fans noticed the two had unfollowed each other on Instagram. Cardi attended the game and made a cameo during Bad Bunny's halftime show, left it early, and posted a video of herself in her car. Before kickoff, when asked if she had a message for Stefon, she simply said, "Good luck." The couple's relationship became public in mid-2025, and they welcomed their first child together last November. So do you think there is trouble for these two? Let us know in the comments.
I could literally do a song, right? I would literally do a song. No, the song isn't that. I would take like a week or 2 weeks to just finish the song because I hate my accent so much now. Now that I hear it.
We all know you went through a very messy divorce with Offset. Were you worried about dating again?
I mean, everybody kept telling me like I should have fun, and we had a little bit of too much fun, and now I'm here. One thing about like dating, when you date, you feel like you're like 16 again.
Well, you want to feel like you're 16.
You do, but then it's like you also remember what you dealt with when you were 16. So it's like restarting again. Like one time he just told me like, let me heal you. Give me a chance for me to heal you. And it's like, okay.
You got a new man. Are the sparks sparking?
Sparkling, honey. 4th of July.
How did you guys meet? Did you reach out to him?
No, you're not supposed to reach out to a man. It was like mutual friends. I thought he was cute. I was like, oh, you gotta be mine.
Are you a football fan now?
Yeah, I'm a football fan, honey. I be in the screen on Sunday every day cursing people out. Pass the ball!
So have you gotten to go and watch him?
Not yet, because I've been preparing for my album. After this whole album thing, I'm going to every single game. Every single one of them.
Was it tough for you to date again?
It's definitely tough dating in your 30s. I never really been a dating person. I've always been in long relationships since I was like 21.
With Stefon, how has he inspired you?
I will never complain about my job because he has to do 2 different things. Not only do you have to study, you also have to get physical. And you have to be in bed at a certain time. You're literally in the military. I work hard, but you like really work hard. I don't really have a sleep schedule. I don't even like to map out my day.
All right.
I haven't even in 3 weeks.
You haven't been 3 weeks? Why?
No, because my is in Boston and I'm here working.
Pregnancy makes you probably want to more, right?
Yeah, but this is crunch time. In Boston, you're a Patriot.
He's playing.
Hell yeah, he's not playing. Now he's really locked in. Like, he's in his season right now.
How you dealing with it?
We just talk to each other every day, and it's like he just came out of a ACL injury. He got something to prove.
You're gonna be at the games.
I'm gonna go to a couple of games, but like I get too anxious. I might be like, I might get bad.
There was a moment right before everything was supposed to go perfectly when it almost completely fell apart. Cardi B, on the final night of her biggest tour, was seconds away from walking out, not delaying the show, not showing up late, canceling it. And the reason behind it? That's where things start to get messy, because this wasn't just a random outburst. This was happening live, in real time, with thousands of fans already waiting inside. And what she said in that moment caught everyone off guard. It all went down in Atlanta. Final stop, packed arena, energy already high. Everything was lined up to be the perfect ending. But behind the scenes, something clearly wasn't right. Cardi suddenly jumps on Instagram Live, and she's not calm. She's heated, calling out arena staff directly, saying they were being disrespectful, aggressive, even putting hands on people in her team. Not just attitude, but actions. And then she says something that instantly changes everything. She's not performing. Just like that. After 35 shows with no issues, this is where it almost ends. And the way she said it, you could tell she meant it. No filter, no hesitation, she was ready to walk. But here's the thing. This wasn't just another stop on the tour. This was the moment everything had been building toward. Because what most people didn't realize is that this tour wasn't just successful, it was historic. Every single date sold out. Not some, not most, all of them. Which made Cardi B the first female rapper to ever do it at that level. We're talking hundreds of thousands of tickets, massive revenue, and a statement that she wasn't just relevant, she was dominating. So canceling the final show, that doesn't just affect one night. That changes the entire narrative. It turns a perfect run into a controversial ending. And Cardi knew that, which is why what she did next made things even more intense. She didn't just vent on Instagram, she doubled down, jumped onto Twitter Spaces, and made her stance crystal clear. No apology, no performance. Simple. But it wasn't just about that moment. She started talking about respect, about how people in positions of authority treat others, and how she could have easily responded differently, but chose not to, until now. Then she went a step further, hinting that if the show got canceled, people could lose their jobs, even mentioning legal consequences. At that point, it wasn't just frustration, it was pressure. And suddenly, the situation felt way bigger than a backstage issue, because now, the entire event was hanging in the balance. Think about the position she was in. Thousands of fans already inside, people who paid money, traveled, waited for this moment. Contracts behind the scenes, sponsors, promoters, all depending on this show happening. Walking away would have sent shockwaves. But at the same time, letting disrespect slide? That's not something she's known for. So now she's stuck between two choices: protect her name or protect the moment. And for a while, it looked like she had already made her decision, until something shifted. Because eventually, she performed. No big announcement, no dramatic explanation, just a quiet change. And just like that, the show goes on. But the energy? Different. Because now everyone knows this almost didn't happen. And after everything, she posts a message. Not angry, not explosive, controlled. Talking about power, respect, and how people should treat others. It felt like a response, but also a warning. Like something happened behind the scenes that we didn't fully see. Maybe an apology, maybe a conversation, but whatever it was enough to get her on stage. Still, that wasn't the end of it. Because during the performance, she says something that people didn't expect. Something that kind of slips through the excitement. She might not come back, saying she'd rather perform somewhere else, even a parking lot, than deal with that environment again. And that right there, that tells you everything. Because even though this show happened, the issue wasn't resolved in her mind. And now fans are left wondering, was this just one bad experience, or is there more to the story? That question gets even bigger once fans start speaking up. Because after everything went viral, people began sharing their own experiences with that same venue. Complaints about staff, attitude, service, prices, logistics, and suddenly, Cardi's reaction didn't seem so random anymore. It started to feel like part of a pattern. Now the conversation shifts from Cardi overreacted to maybe she had a point. And that's when things really start to flip. Because public opinion, it doesn't stay still for long. But while everyone was focused on the drama, there's one detail that kind of got lost in all of it. And it might be the most important part of the entire story. This moment almost didn't exist. Not the drama, the success. Because for years, Cardi hesitated. Second album, delayed. Again. And again. Not because she couldn't do it, but because of fear, pressure, expectations, and the weight of what people might say if it didn't live up to the first. 7 years of waiting, second-guessing every move, holding back when the moment felt too risky, or when the stakes felt too high. Because when your first success sets the bar that high, anything that comes after isn't just compared, it's judged. Every lyric, every performance, every decision. And that kind of pressure, it can slow everything down. But eventually, she pushed through it, past the doubt, past the hesitation, past the fear of not being enough the second time around. And when she finally did, everything changed. Records broken, tours selling out within minutes, crowds getting bigger, moments getting louder. Her career didn't just continue, it elevated to a whole new level. Which is what makes this situation even more ironic. Because right at the peak, right when everything finally lined up perfectly, when the timing, the momentum, the attention, everything was exactly where it needed to be, that's when it almost slipped. Not because of the music, not because of the fans, but because of one unexpected moment behind the scenes. A moment no one planned for. A moment no one saw coming. But a moment that had the power to shift everything. And that's what makes this story hit different. Because it's not just about an artist getting upset. It's about how fragile success can be, even at its highest point, how something built over years can be tested in seconds, and how, sometimes, the biggest threat isn't the journey to the top, it's what happens when you're already there. It's about how fast things can shift, how one situation, one interaction can threaten something that took years to build. Because in moments like that, everything is on the line at once. Reputation, momentum, perception. And at the same time, it raises a bigger question. When you reach that level, when you hold that kind of influence, how do you respond when someone crosses the line? Do you step back and protect your image? Or do you stand firm, knowing every move will be judged in real time? That's where things get complicated, because there's no perfect response. Every decision comes with a cost, and that's what made this moment stand out. Cardi didn't choose just one path. She chose both. She stood her ground, made it clear where the line was, but she also kept going, stayed locked into the performance, and finished what she started. And that balance, that's what people are still debating. Some see it as strength, others see it as escalation. But either way, it kept the moment alive far beyond the stage. Because at the end of the day, the show still happened. The records still stand. The tour is still historic. Nothing physically stopped. But something definitely changed. Now there's an extra layer to the story, one that adds tension to the success, one that makes people look at the moment differently every time it's brought up. And maybe that's the real takeaway here. Not just what happened on stage, but how close everything came to going in a completely different direction. Because sometimes, the biggest moments aren't defined by what happened, but by what almost didn't happen at all. If you were in that situation, would you have canceled the show or done exactly what she did? That's the question people are still going back and forth on. Because in moments like that, there's no safe answer, just a choice, and everything that comes with it. And maybe that's why this story keeps sticking, not just because of the moment itself, but because everyone can imagine what they would have done differently. So now, I want to hear from you. What would you have done? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more breakdowns like this, stories that go deeper than the headlines and show what's really happening behind the scenes, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the next story, it might not just add more details, it could completely change how you see everything.